So second steady state run of the training. 45 minutes last week, 1 hour this week, just tooting along. Although it's not as scenic this run as others, it's a bit more of an out and back by bloody main road. But oh well. Oh, finally off the main road, on some nicer trails now. Probably one of Margot's local parks, to be honest. Well, I was meant to run by a lake, but I think I might mess my route up. So I've never gone a running, I have absolutely no idea where they are. Margot, I might need your help from up there to get home. God knows where I am. Oh well, still fun. 3.1k in 23 minutes so far. Got an hour to do today, so hoping for maybe 8k, something like that. I think I'm back on track. I'll remember this. Found the lake. Finally, bloody hell. Just makes the run a bit more enjoyable, I guess. You'd have enjoyed this little one. You really would have. Right, so halfway through. I just feel like I could go all day, to be honest. Autumn leaves on the ground. Just imagine coming down here with Margot and she picks all the leaves up and throws them everywhere. Coming back out the countryside now, back onto the bloody main road. I hate this bit. Okay, so as you saw, one of my steady state runs done there. That's one of my longer distance ones, sort of at the pace I want to do the marathons in 10 months time or 9 months time. The clips there are actually from last weekend, so I've not long got back from this week's steady state run, which I think I did my first ever 10k I've done in my life. So I'll put the Strava details somewhere around here, I guess, just so if anyone's interested. Still slow, but still feeling strong and felt like I could go all day, so something must be working, and feels good to be able to get out in the clean air, as I said before, and just run, get away from everything for a bit and just feel a bit more normal, I guess. It's a bit of a different video, this one, I guess. I just want to touch on something regarding the whole of baby loss rather than certain areas in this one, and that's the taboo around it. So many people, when they realise that you've lost a baby or your baby's died, like, you know, Margot, etc., I've sensed that it feels like an awkward position they're in. They don't know what to say, they don't know what to ask, they don't know whether it's right to ask for a picture, whether it's right to ask how you are. How do you ask how you are? Is it okay to just talk normally? There seems to be a whole taboo around baby loss, and should you still celebrate them babies? Which, of course, the answer is yes. Just because Margot didn't come out breathing doesn't mean she's any less of a child than any living child, and that should be celebrated, and that shouldn't be a taboo. If anyone ever asks me, have I got any daughters or sons? Yeah, I've got one daughter, her name's Margot. Sadly, she's not with us now in person, but she's still here. And if anyone's watching this who, you know, even if you're not going through it yourselves, you know, one of your family members or friends are currently have lost, then what I can say to you from my own experience is ask to see photos, ask how the labour was, ask how they are, ask how they're feeling, and mean it. That's the main thing a lot of the time. And don't be scared to ask about the children as well. Don't be scared. In my case, no one should ever be scared to say, can I see a photo of Margot? Of course you can. You know what? I am bouncing off the walls if anyone ever asks me that. I am so happy because I get to show my child off. Just because she isn't here, as I said before, doesn't mean she's any less of a child. And the whole taboo around whether they should be celebrated or whether, you know, is it a bit awkward to ask? Does anyone really want to see a photo of a baby what's passed away? Yeah, I'd love to show. Sorry, 2 minutes, dog's at the door. Anyway, where were we? Never be afraid to ask to see photos. Never be afraid to ask questions. And never be afraid to celebrate their baby or Margot or my baby or whoever's, because they are still our children and we should talk about them more. It seemed when I can't remember if I touched on it on a video before. When we first lost Margot, you feel so alone, and that is the whole point of this channel, to say you're not alone. Normal guy, has lost a baby, try and document my process through it. And actually, the more you speak about it, what I found in my experience is I always had to start the conversation first and say, mention I'd lost. But then you find that other people have too, but they've never spoken about it. But then when you start to talk about it, both that conversation, there's children who should be celebrated there who aren't at the minute, or they might only be privately and not publicly. Whereas I'm currently making these videos to say to the world, Margot, I'm doing this run to raise money and I'll go into the charity bit soon, but it'll be for 3 charities. And Margot can make and raise money for those charities to help other people in my situation. And if that isn't Margot being able to break a taboo and celebrate, yes, I might not be here in person, but I'm still changing the world, then what can be better than that? And I just want to, over these next 10 months, break all them walls down. I don't want anyone, you might only be clicking on this one video and you might never watch any of my videos again. But then a couple of years down the line, you might think, I remember when I watched that guy talking to me, he'd lost his daughter. And actually, I want to be able to support whoever is going through this. I want to see a photo of them. They're still a child. I want to ask questions. I want to celebrate the birthday. I want to celebrate Christmas, because they know, me and Stephanie, my wife, we might go on to have children in the future, but that doesn't mean they're never going to be our first children. They're always going to have an older sister called Margot, and she's always going to be our firstborn. And no matter what, she's always going to be part of our family, and that needs to be celebrated. The whole taboo around miscarriage, stillbirth, infant loss, that taboo needs to be completely broken down. Say their name. It doesn't matter wherever you lose your child. That might be at 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 20 weeks, 30 weeks, 40 weeks, due date. They're still a baby. They still have a name, so say their name. And that's why I do this. I do it for Margot. I'm trying to shout Margot's name out and about across this whole world, because she's still a person and she is still my first daughter, and she should still be celebrated. And if there's any mums or dads currently watching this, and you might be early on in the loss process, I'm still pretty early on in this, don't be afraid to keep talking about your little ones. And I'm going to be talking about Margot until the end of my life, because she's still my daughter. And if you're a family member watching this thinking, I don't know what to say to them, I really don't know, is it awkward to say that? Is it awkward? Just say it. Ask to see the photos. Ask truly how they are. If we need a shoulder to cry on, let us cry. Just let us get them out, because we need to. I bottled what I felt up for 10, 11 weeks, pretty much until I started making these videos, because I thought that was the right thing to do from a man's perspective. It definitely wasn't. If that's the right thing to do, then I can't help any dad or mum in the future going through this, because I'm going to be pretending and not being true to myself. So say their name, break the taboo. And if anyone ever wants to talk about their little ones, just start the conversation off. Message this channel, message myself, message your best friend. Because it's important to celebrate their lives, and it's important not to feel, you read some things online that people feel ashamed celebrating their child. You should never ever feel ashamed, because they're still a human, they're still a child. And Margot, in my case, is always going to be my first daughter. As I like to end these videos out, just how my sort of last week or so has been. Came back from going down south, as you'd have seen in my last video. We're going to head back down there next week. It's just good for the head, to be honest. I mentioned in there it's been a tough couple of weeks, but doing okay. Christmas is starting to be tough though. Margot was born on the 15th of August, and we couldn't have been more excited to celebrate her first Christmas with her. Spoiler rot and get millions of presents that she probably won't use. And just have that first Christmas with my daughter, and I'm not going to get that as her as a physical person. And that's starting to creep in a little bit now, starting to get a little bit tough. And this whole year is going to be a whole year of first. The first Christmas, the first birthday, the first Mother's Day, the first Father's Day, and we still celebrate her as if she was here. If you do find these videos helpful at all, or you do just want to talk, if you just want to talk to me, or celebrate your child's life, or you just want the whole world to know their name, then please comment below. Please share the video, because the more people who see this, the more people this can help. And the more people know that it's okay not to be okay. And the more people know that it's absolutely brilliant to say their name, and it's absolutely fantastic to celebrate your little one's life. So please do like the video and subscribe if you want to carry on this journey. I'll try and get some run information put up soon. Just been a tough couple of weeks, so using that as an escape at the minute, but I will get a video up on that. So let's break the taboo and let's say the name. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.